When we look at all of them together, you'll see this next table. Now with this table, we're looking at all 5 of the archetypes and how they roll within a yin and yang universe. So wood and fire are the most yang, and metal and water are the most yin. And then earth, because it's balanced and sits in the middle, it's a combination of yin and yang. Fire is the most yang and water is the most yin. But wood and metal also have a large chunk of themselves that are metal being yin, wood being yang. Now, yeah, so that should help to clarify things. So what it means, of course, is that wood and fire are going to be out in the world more, and metal and water are going to be tucked away and trying to avoid lots of situations where they're spending time around lots of people. And earth will sit in the middle. When they need to be around lots of people, they are. When they don't need to be, they won't. And that leads into just one final summary between all 5 of them. So as we talked about, really sort of wood archetypes are out there in the world, breaking old records, making new records, being the best at something. When they're driving towards that, it's all about achieving that purpose. And then when they achieve that purpose, they want to tell everyone about what they've achieved. Me, 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 I, not us, us, us. Fire archetypes sell. And it's not in a negative connotation of a salesperson trying to stop you in the street and sell you something. It's about what they're fascinated about. So they're selling what they like, what they love, what they are passionate about, more than selling something for the sake of selling it. They just like being around people and telling people about the things that interest them, or the things that they watched on telly that were amazing, or the music that they listened to, for no reason other than they just feel compelled to. They want people to want to listen or watch those things that they find so fascinating. Earth is the peacemaker. They want to save the day, help one person at a time. The metal archetypes and the water archetypes are the ones that hide away and don't necessarily want to be around lots of people. And if they are, they need to have their ability to retreat and withdraw from the world regularly in their day and in their week. Metal will create new things or make something that better than what it was previously. And the water archetypes will go back into history and find all of these things that we didn't listen to that could help the world be saved. And then they reintroduce that into the world. So that's a very, very quick look at the 5 element archetypes. And that leads us into the 5 spirits, which is the last thing we're talking about before you do your assessment. So 5 spirits, or Wu Shen. And the 5 of them are the Hun, Shen, Yi, Po, and Ji. The Hun, in a basic sense, is our ethereal soul, our heavenly soul, or our dream big soul. Some of those words make more sense for different people, and so that's why I put a few different options up there for you. But the Hun is also associated with our sleeping and dreaming, our emotional balance, really big on decision making and planning. Vision and imagination is huge for Hun. Courage. And courage isn't just Hun. Courage can also be part of a Ji, or willpower, which we'll talk about shortly. And the Hun really works off eyes and sight, because the Hun is part of your wood element, and your wood element sense organ is the eyes. So the Hun is our creative, artistic, poetic, imaginative soul. Up here, anything is possible, therefore dream your grandest dreams. And that's where we call it the dream big soul if we wanted to, because we have unlimited access to dreams. The only thing that limits our dreams is us believing there are limits or other people telling us there are limits. There is unlimited dreams because the dreams are associated with the universal chi, of which there is an unlimited amount of. So therefore, there are no limits to your dreams. If you want to be playful, fun, energetic, and inspired with your dreams. Because the limits, what's the word? Well, I've talked about that. So the Hun doesn't have limits or boundaries. It's like the universal heaven where there is no beginning or end. The Hun is also where we plan, process, filter, discriminate, organize, set goals, and prepare for action. And the Hun is our senses in overdrive. It operates best via the senses, therefore the Hun uses what's called post-heaven intellect. Now we talked about that back in Hun was module 2. So we don't need to go into detail again here. It's not part of your assessment, that particular post-heaven intellect thing. But essentially post-heaven intellect is after you're born, you use your senses to learn about the world. So I think we've covered sort of everything there I wanted to. Yeah, plan, process, filter, discriminate. Now, the Hun, when it's really balanced and it's attached to wood in a really strong way, a person can plan, process, filter, discriminate, organize, set goals, prepare for action, on the run, on the move. It all happens really, really quickly. But if it's attached more to your Po, more to your metal, then you'll plan, process, filter, discriminate, organize, set goals, and prepare for action slower. So if we looked at this situation as being, say, 2 army generals, and we're fighting a war against an opponent, a wood part of this would be an army general that can adapt on the run. So they might get a surprise attack against them. So the opponent doesn't do what's expected and might, say, attack them at night when they're used to everyone attacking them during the day. So a wood archetype will react to that better with this Hun side of things. And they'll make plans and process everything on the run, and they'll make really good army generals in that way. Whereas the Hun side of things, if it's attached to metal, they will respond and react better if they can plan out an attack where they meet their opponent in the field after they've had time to plan. And then they'll set out all of their plans, and then they'll make those plans a reality after they've had time to think about it. And this might take a few days perhaps. But if they know where they're going to meet, they know their environment, and they know their opponent, and there aren't going to be any surprises, or at least not many, then they'll be really good army generals in that instance. I hope that made sense. Again, that's not in the assessment anyway. It's more just for your own sort of interest's sake. The Hun is not tied to the earth via gravity. It's tied to the earth via our Po. So the Po is the grounded earthly soul and is the Hun in action. And what I'm saying there basically is the Hun is our dream big soul and the Po is our do big soul. So dream up our dreams in the Hun, we take it down into our body, we filter it through our Shen, our Yi, and our Ji, and if it's a keeper, it goes down into our Po and it becomes action, doing. And they're linked together just like yin and yang. Hun is our yang and Po is our yin. But each of the Hun and Po have yin and yang components to them as well. And just like yin and yang, our Hun and Po can occasionally tilt excessively in favor of one or the other, but it can never be complete severing, because that will only happen when you die. You have to always have a little bit of Hun or Po. No matter how much one of them dominates, there's always at least a little bit of the other there. So that is our Hun. The next one is our Shen.